Keep to time today, so what we might do is just dive straight in this morning. So Andrea, when you're ready, we might pop up the slides. Fantastic. And what I might do is I'll just go to the next one, if that's okay, Andrea.
Yeah.
Thanks very much for that. Just wanted to acknowledge the land that I'm on today, which is Wurundjeri, part of the Wurundjeri Kulin Nation, and I'm next to the Yarra River in Templestowe. We've got a number from probably the other parts of the Kulin Nations around Vic on the call today too. So welcome to everyone across different parts of the Kulin Nations around Victoria, and most certainly want to sincerely acknowledge the traditional custodians on the land on which we meet today, and also where we learn, work and play across the lands and waters. And we'd like to pay our respects to elders past and present. Thanks very much, everyone, for joining us this morning. My name's Andrew, and then we've also got Andrea on the call as well. So thanks, Andrea, for being there. And we've got a bit to get through. And if you've got a particular question or query, please put your hand up and Andrea will try to get to you. Otherwise, you're very welcome to pop anything into chat to either present a question or ask that you'd like to have a chat to everyone about a particular item we've got on the list today. But we'll get you a few updates, and yeah, please do interject at any time, and we can have a bit of a chat about a particular item. So thanks very much for being with us. And first thing we're going to touch on today's, and I'll just quickly go through the things we're going to chat about today, and then we'll get to the particular slides. But we're going to chat about the National Outdoor Education Conference, and we'll get a bit of nuts and bolts on the board for you there, and a couple of things that are coming up around that. We'll also touch on the National Centre for Outdoor Risk and Readiness and the pre-conference event professional development. Also, there's now going to be another piece around that at Camp Manyung on the Tuesday and Wednesday, just before the National Outdoor Education Conference in December. We'll feature some of the professional development courses that are coming up, and they're actually complimentary if they're online to affiliate supporters of OV. So please, if you'd like to delve into that, or your organisation would, if you do become an affiliate, then that's complimentary, which is fantastic. And we'll touch on some of the careers expos where we're getting out and about to promote careers in outdoors. And then we'll get into a little bit around the Disability and Inclusion Project and some exciting development up at Hotham, as well as then delve into some developments around Department of Education and the Australian Adventure Activity Standard, and finish up with a bit on the mountain bike symposium up in Merimbula later on in the year. So thanks for that. We'll also touch on any particular items at the end that you need us to further to chat about, but might just dive into the first of those slides, Andrea. Thank you. Okay, so something that's getting closer and closer in our radar now that we're in this particular financial year of the conference is the National Outdoor Education Conference. So we're really shaping up with a huge amount of panels, workshops, presentations, and the entire timetable will be up and live out of our August newsletter. So you'll be able to really start to plan which sessions you're going to head to. We've got some fantastic keynotes on board as well, and a huge amount of exhibitors which will be plying their wares. So if there's any of you on the call that are considering having a booth, there's still some left. We've sold out in the first of the exhibitor areas, and then we've got probably about 8 or 9 places to go yet. So we're really excited to have a whole lot of people coming in to showcase their services and products. There's also a whole lot on offer in regards to where to stay. So you can either stay on site in the campsites, and they include hot showers and a common room, that's ridiculously good value. And then you've also got very good value on site accommodation in the shared residences of the uni, and you can just dive onto our homepage, and straight away you'll see the banner there to be able to click on and learn a whole lot more about the National Outdoor Education Conference. First time we've had it in Victoria since 2007. It's now 2024, so it's been a long time in the making. So really, really looking forward to seeing as many of you there as possible to make the most of this. It'll be a long time again before it's back. Please support us by coming along so that we can then support you with 600 plus thought leaders from around Australia and also around the world. We've got visitors coming in from India, Sweden, UK, USA, Canada as well. Some of them are presenting, so that'll be really exciting aspect to this national conference as well. Andrea, anything else that you might want to touch on when it comes to the conference?
No, I just popped the link to our NOEC section on the Outdoors Victoria website. There's a few tabs in there. You can find information on accommodation. As Andrew said, there's a few options there. And there's links to either book the on-site accommodation, the camping. And there's also now a very good list of accommodation in nearby towns. So yeah, you have plenty of options to stay. And what else I can mention? Yeah, there's a new tab as well that we have a map from the venue itself, so that you can see the different areas and where everything during the conference will be happening. And the exhibitor space as well. You will find the maps of the two exhibitor spaces in there. Everything is in that link that I just popped on the chat.
Thanks, Andrea. The other thing too, for any of your friends or interstate or overseas, and colleagues that are interstate and overseas, if they're flying into Melbourne Airport at Tullamarine, there's also a tab there for complimentary coach transport on the Wednesday morning and afternoon, and then going back to the airport from 4 o'clock through till about 5 o'clock on the Friday the 6th. So yeah, make sure that your friends and colleagues interstate or overseas, if they are coming into Tullamarine on the Wednesday, that they can access that complimentary service as well. And that's been wonderful that we've been able to provide that, because La Trobe City, which is the local council, is sponsoring the entire conference, which is wonderful too. Thanks very much for that. Any particular queries about the national conference? Thank you. I think we'll keep going for now. You've just got a little bit in there on the next slide about something that we just started to announce, is that the National Outdoor Education Conference Steering Committee has decided and accepted that the memorial lecture, that's the Dr. Brian Nettleton lecture that's been going for years now in Victoria, to honour his contribution to outdoor education in Victoria and around Australia. This particular one is going to be presented by Dr. Val Nichols, who's made a very significant contribution across Australia, and also Sandy Ellen Craig. She's just retired from Australian Catholic University after a massive contribution in the outdoor education space as well. So it's going to be really exciting. That's going to be on the Wednesday, just before the drinks on Wednesday, the 4th of December. So really looking forward to that now as well. Thanks, Andrea. Keynotes. We have Dr. Benny Wilson, who's an Indigenous Australian man and a wonderful academic out of Canberra, that's going to be presenting as a keynote at the conference. We've also got Dr. Jeff Jackson from the USA, going to be talking about risk management and resilience and building that resilience. And then we've also, and it's a different take than what you're used to on that, FYI, which is great. And then we've also got Manjul Patiti across from OEG, but originally from India, and then also studied outdoor ed in Edinburgh University in Scotland before settling in Australia. So some exciting keynotes. Manjul's also on the organising committee of the Asia Pacific Experiential Association Conference, which is being held in Pune in India in October this year. So really excited to have them to be able to set the scene on an innovative conference. Thanks, Andrea. Then we've also got, talking about resilience, for senior managers, managing directors, CEOs, owners, etc. A really great session that the National Centre for Outdoor Risk and Readiness is going to be running on the Wednesday morning before the conference starts from 9:30 through to 1 o'clock on the Wednesday 4th. And I think, Andrea, we might get you to find a link and be able to pop that into the chat as well about that particular professional development. So Dr. Jeff Jackson from the USA will be diving into detail there, also with the CEO of Outward Bound Australia, Dr. Lauren Miller, as well as Dr. Claire Dallett from Risk Resolve. So some really great content there, and an incredible session to be a part of. So please consider that as well, everyone. Thanks, Andrea. We've also got something that's just arrived in the latest newsletter. So if you dive back to the newsletter, which went out last Thursday, if you just type in Outdoors Victoria News into your inbox, Outdoors Victoria News, that newsletter will come back up again. In there is the registration for 2 professional development sessions showcasing for around about 75 minutes each on either Tuesday afternoon if you're heading down to the conference a little early, or middle of the morning on Wednesday. And that still gives you time to be at the start of the national conference at 2 o'clock on the Wednesday. So that's down at one of the YMCA adventure camps at Manyung, which is the location is Mount Eliza on the Mornington Peninsula. So Andrea, we might get you to hunt high and low for a link on that one as well, if that's okay, to pop that into chat.
Yeah, that's in the chat now for everyone that wants to have a look.
Fantastic. So there's been some quiet work going underway for years around the unique design of a new harness for people living with disabilities to be able to help them out experience what many of us are fortunate to be able to do on challenge ropes and also on flying foxes and the like. So there's been a manufacturer plus some wonderful people like Tim Marchington and many of the crew at the YMCA have got together to produce this harness. So that's now for sale, but you can actually see it in use, as well as a number of other access all abilities features that that particular YMCA camp now has on offer down at Mount Eliza. So dive into that one. That's complimentary, by the way. So please take advantage of that too. Thanks, Andrea. We've got some professional development coming up again in term 3, and this will continue into term 4 as well, everyone. So again, it's about letting your colleagues know and your friends know that these great sessions are on. So Dave Hagel, he's had connections across Paddle Vic. Many of you might know Dave from Survive First Aid, but's been around in the sector for many years, and should be a great session. Again, you'll see down there that if your organisation is an affiliate of OV, which usually just a couple $100 for the entire year, then this is complimentary. Otherwise, it's $50 for a session for people to top up their knowledge. and you can just dive into that. Andre, what's the best way, do you think, for people to be registering for those courses? Is it just to head to our website and then?
Yeah, I just put the link in the chat.
Right.
And there you can see the different sessions that we're going to be running in term 3. So the first one is this one, August 1st.
Yes.
And yeah, you can just book each individual session. As Andrew mentioned, if you're an affiliate supporter, you get either free or a very significant discount for these sessions. So I'm going to pop now also the link in the chat to become an affiliate supporter if you are interested. And yeah, all the different sessions are there, and just book your ticket to your preferred session.
Fantastic. Thanks, Andrea. And also just flick to the next couple. We'll just move through them fairly swiftly, but I'll just touch on the other ones, Andrea, if that's okay. Thank you. So then we've got a great Indigenous Australian man, Lockie Saunders, who's going to be helping us out with embracing Indigenous knowledge practices for respectful teaching. What can telling stories on country tell us? So that'll be another belter of a session, and really, really excited to be able to involve the Indigenous community in our sessions. So please mark that in your diary, and as I said, please pass it also on to your colleagues. Thanks for that, Andrea. We've then got how to compile a Department of Education risk register for outdoor education activities. So that's presented by 2 practicing teachers at the moment. Brett Easton, who's with the Alpine Schools of Student Leadership down at their Glenelg Ormiston campus, and also Phil Dennis, who was at that particular School of Student Leadership, but now is the head of Outdoor Ed at Warrnambool College. They've formed up a community of practice with 14 of the schools down in the southwest, and been doing some great work there. So hopefully, if you're in the camp space, or if you've got colleagues or friends that are teachers that are being allocated to organise camp with their school, a really, really great session for that, to have them come along. So please let your friends and colleagues know about that one. Thanks, Andrea. Then we've also got one around maximising our time during outdoor experiences and using logbooks effectively. This is very much for VCE Outdoor Environmental Studies teachers. Belinda was actually one of the authors of the new curriculum that she worked on with, obviously, with the department and VCAR. So we're really chuffed to be able to have her in person across at the Westfolds Park Templestowe Conference Centre. So yeah, please dive into that one. Again, if you're an affiliate, you're getting a whopping discount on that one. So please take advantage of being able to connect with Belinda. These sessions have been really popular, and we do have a cap of 25. So please pass that on to your colleagues fairly swiftly, because that one will sell out. Thanks, Andrea. Okay, so we've got one of the largest careers expos in Victoria coming up this coming Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Those hours there on the Friday 9 to 4, and then on the Saturday and Sunday 10 to 4. That's at Melbourne Convention and Exhibition Centre, so known to many as Jeff Shed in the city in Melbourne. We're going to be there. We've got a great bunch of people coming along from different TAFEs and universities, as well as we've got some of the providers along as well. So I just want to give a really big call out to PGL, who's going to be having a couple of wonderful people along, including Luke Knights. And we're also going to be having someone who's working with Intrepid. Kerry's coming along to help represent, and also Bindaree. Thanks very much, Bindaree, and Jemima's on the call. So thanks for that, Jemima, for your contribution there with Leah and Joe. They've been really staunch supporters as well. So thanks for your help there. And we also have some exciting things happening across the school expo space as well. So I might flick you to the next slide. Thanks, Andrea. Please put your hand up, yell out, or pop something in chat if you need us to slow down and chat about anything in particular. So this is about, again, your friends and colleagues across in the VCE Outdoor Environmental Studies space. We now have a system where we have a number of providers, TAFEs and universities involved that are assisting us in getting out to the school expos. So we've had a number of providers and TAFEs and unis do this for us. So we quickly upskill you in how to do it. There's absolutely fantastic one-stop shop brochures that we've also produced as well, with QR codes and all kinds of wonderful things linking to different training and quals that you might need. That's a unified brochure for anyone who's representing on the stand. But then there's the opportunity, of course, to be able to talk further with people that have got lived experience in our sector on the stand as well about what's their career journey been and all the options. So that's a really great service now. And there's actually, we've been talking about it in the newsletters, a booking service. So that's gone out to all of the nearly 300 VCE OES schools that are offering that subject to be able to book. And we've had dozens of bookings, which is great. So just an FYI for everyone who's connected or has colleagues in that space. Thanks, Andrea. Disability Inclusion Project Phase 2. So with that, we've, with the help of many of you, we've been working hard to produce that toolkit for people in the community living with physical disabilities. We're now diving into the intellectual disabilities, neurodiverse disability space, including autism as well. And so we're about to have a rather large meeting of all those community support services in that space, including AMAZE, which is the peak body for autism. So if anyone would like to join us, Andrea, I might just get you to pop in maybe Andrew Goodday's email address. Andrew Goodday's leading that particular project at OV. And we definitely need your help. So think hard if there's someone across your friendship networks or colleagues that might be able to assist us with helping build that particular toolkit over the next 18 months. We'll produce an interim version of that toolkit. It'll be quite dynamic over the next 12 to 18 months, but at the National Outdoor Education Conference too. So some exciting work coming up over the coming months. And also, we've mentioned in the newsletter, but was also on ABC Radio, thanks to OV on the weekend, just around the opening of the All Abilities facility at Mt Hotham. It's going to be an amazing facility for people living with a disability to be able to access snow. So Disability Winter Sports Australia, they have now a headquarters there at Hotham, which is absolutely magic. And everyone can utilise that huge new facility there and dive back into the newsletter to learn more about that. But there's now a rather large car park. It also has an underground car park as well, which is great in the blizzard conditions that were on the weekend. And that in green season also acts as a start of trailhead really for a whole lot of different activities, including what's been worked on at the moment, which is the Falls to Hotham crossing. So yeah, just wanted to keep everyone up to date as that's now open up at Hotham. Thanks, Andrea. Okay, so there's some movement in this space. There was a couple of years ago the sad passing of an 8-year-old little boy, Cooper Arnott, and in a community pool. They had been on a camp down Port Ferry Way, and one of the ramifications out of that is the department looking seriously at what they need to do around the adventure activity guidelines. And so there's work underway there by the department. We're assisting where we can with that, but there's definitely quite a large amount of work about to take place over the coming months. So we'll keep everyone informed when there's further developments. But we've obviously been in the space working with the department advocating for a much more straightforward system. And also around the actual adventure activity guidelines themselves, suggesting strongly that they explore what has happened across in the Australian Adventure Activity Standard and Good Practice Guide space, where there is a core Good Practice Guide that basically takes you through 70% of what you'd need to be planning for, and then you dive into the specific activities. At the moment, with the Department of Education guidelines, there's all of that core piece in every single one of the activities before you dive into the activity specifics. So there's some promising work going on there that might eventuate to have it a little more straightforward for everyone, which would be wonderful. And that's, of course, for government school children and schools to abide by. So we'll keep you as close to that as that develops over the coming months. Again, any particular questions or queries from anyone there? Okay, Andre, we might keep going for the moment. Feel free, if you do want to reach out. Most of you do have my email, ceo@outdoorsvictoria.org.au, if you do want to have a further chat about the Department of Education guidelines. There's also some exciting movement around the Australian Adventure Activity Standard and Good Practice Guides. We've been working with all the state and territory governments and connecting in with the federal government around the update of the Australian AAS. It was released in November 2019, so it is time for us to start to activate on an update. And so we'll keep you informed on that, but that's looking quite promising that will be able to be enacted. So we'll keep you in the loop on that when that formally is able to be announced. And part of that is that we'll be exploring whether there are other activities that were missed last time that we may need to focus on. One of them being backcountry snow activities. So at the moment in Victoria, we've been advising since 2019 that you need to follow the Australian AAS standard, the 11-page document there, as well as the core, and then head to the 2013 Victorian AAS on backcountry snow activities. There's been the release in Outdoors New South Wales, ACT, of a discussion paper on snow activities. So just in the newsletter the other day, I went into a bit of detail on that, and that's something that would be prudent for providers to explore as well, to see if there's any new approaches in there compared to the 2013 Victorian Snow Activities AAS. And we'll sort of continue on towards that update of the particular Australian AAS, and see if we can have a snow activities good practice guide included in that. And we're also exploring other items like what we can do around guidance for participants when it comes to their physical and mental health, which is something that continues to come to the fore in many particular activities. So keep you in the loop on all of that. Thanks very much for your contributions back in 2016 to 19, and we likely will be coming to ask for your assistance with that update in the coming months. Thanks for that, Andrea. Okay, and something that's happening in Merimbula late October, Friday the 25th and 26th of October, is they're hosting, Outdoors New South Wales ACT are hosting a mountain bike symposium. So I'm going to be exploring, the challenges of mountain bike tracks and trails maintenance, and working in with land managers, clubs, and the wider community. So that's going to be an opportunity for many of us to get together there. Outdoors Victoria will be represented by one of our staff, Andrew Goodday, who's actually a committee member of the Surf Coast Mountain Biking Club. But there'll be Oz Cycling representatives there as well, and a number of people coming in from the different states and territories to share learnings on this particular rise of mountain biking activity. So thanks, Andrea, for popping the registration into the chat there. And at this stage, I'd really like to see if there's any particular questions or queries. Would you like us to expand on anything that we've talked about today? Give you a couple of minutes to see if there might be something popping into chat from you, or put your hand up. Very happy to take any particular questions or chat about any particular item that you need to. And also, Andrea, in the meantime, we might just get to the next slide, I think, which lets everyone know of when's the next catch up online. Thanks for that, Andrea. So please pop that in your calendars and pass it on to your colleagues as well. There's also, every time in our newsletter, there's also a registration option there as well to be able to dive into those and pre-book those sessions. So feel free, you can literally do that today and pass it on to your colleagues. Thanks very much. Rachel, I see that you've popped up. Hello, just wondering if there's anything we can help you with.
No, I just am late to your meeting. Sorry, I registered a little while ago to come along, so hoping just to jump in.
Welcome, Rachel. Is there? We might get Andre to go right back to the first page, which had our agenda on it, and just see if there's anything in there. If you'd like to go shopping on any particular item that might be handy for us to touch on for you, free to let us know.
I'm actually registered and coming along to the conference in December.
Fantastic.
And we were hoping to get some of you guys to our Careers Expo, which is on this week, but I think I spoke to Andrew Gooday and it was a little bit difficult to get people along. So hopefully perhaps next year we can arrange for that.
Rachel, which school was it?
Bagsmash Grammar, we are.
Yeah, so the good news there is Andrew's back because he's working this coming Saturday and Sunday at Jeff's Shed in the big state expo for careers. Yep. So the good news is he's back after a loo day on the Monday. And the great news is we have just secured someone for the day where you've got your 1,200 students.
Correct.
So I'm sure he'll be back in touch literally next couple of hours, Rachel. But that was just confirmed by Andrew this morning.
Oh, that's great news. Thank you.
Really happy to help out there. Yes. You're going to have some great people from YMCA adventure camps, including Emily Greco coming along to represent. So really thrilled we can help you out there.
That's great. Thank you. I'll look forward to catching up with you. Emily, is it?
Yeah, Emily Greco from YMCA Adventure Camps.
Yeah, we do use a lot of YMCA adventure camps in our program, so that'll be great.
Excellent, excellent. So we'll have Andrew back in touch with you in the next couple of hours, Rachel. So all good there.
Awesome. Sorry, and I feel like I'm very late, obviously. The PD for term 3, was that VCE Outdoor Ed, or is it variety?
Andre, if you could skip to, there's a couple there for you. Probably the first one relevant is the one with that one. If you just want to go back one, Andrea, that's going to be fascinating because we've actually got an Indigenous Australian Lockie Saunders along for that one. And that could be really, really insightful for you. And that's an easy one because it's online.
Oh, yep, that could be great. Yep.
Yeah, and you'll be able to dive in and grab the link Andrea put in there into chat. So we'll make sure we stay online a little bit at the end.
Yeah, all right,
so
I'll grab
grab
that.
all the links because there's a heck of a lot of links in there.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, the other one, Andrea, we might just move one slide ahead. This one here could be very insightful as well. It's not
Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah, not specific to VCE OES, but there's another one coming in a minute. But this one here, those two registered and practicing teachers, they formed a community of practice with 14 of their schools in the southwest of Victoria, and they're actually working with the Department of Education.
Oh, that's good. I'd love to be a part of that.
The guidelines, yeah. So that'll be really, really handy. And from memory, I'm pretty sure Bacchus Marsh Grammar is actually an affiliate.
We are, yes. Yep.
Yeah. So there's another complimentary one for you. And that's, of course, as many of your team, because I know Bacchus Marsh Grammar has grown a heck of a lot.
It has.
Yeah, you're welcome to have as many on board for that one as you need. Yeah. And then the next one is the VCE OES specific one.
Yeah.
And you may have heard of Belinda Dalziel, but yeah, she was actually one of the authors of the new curriculum. So really exciting to have her along.
Awesome.
That's actually in person. So, but potentially worth a trip.
Yep.
Because you're not going to have access to Belinda too often.
Yeah. Okay. I'll talk to my OES staff and get them along if hopefully.
Yeah. Great. So there's just a cap on that of around 25. So just if you can move on that in the next sort of week or so, it'll probably secure you a spot. Yep. Just
awesome.
Get the whole quality teaching experience.
Yeah, that's good. That'll be good for them.
Thank you. Andrea, is there anything else in chat where someone else is wanting to chat to us, or otherwise we'll keep diving in with Rachel?
No, I didn't see anything in the chat, but I do know that there's a few people that also joined us a little bit later. Aaron, hi Aaron. I think Cass Booth also joined us. So if you also have any questions of anything we've touched in this agenda, please let us know. If you have any doubts.
Thanks, Andrea. So yeah, just please put your hand up or sing out. And Rachel, anything else on there that we need further clarification for you on?
No, that looks good so far from what I can see. Thank you. Sorry for jumping in late.
No, that's all fine. Probably just around, Rachel, I'm guessing that you're doing a bit of a matrix when it comes to the department guidelines and the Australian AAS. Would that be the case? Or
yes.
Yep. So a couple of things happening in that space. We're not at liberty to dive into great detail yet because we need it actually to happen before we can chat to everyone about it. But there's been some.
When is that happening?
There's been some promising work around the Department of Education guidelines, and that's likely to be sort of an announceable over the next couple of months. And it's some really sincere work to look at simplifying how that all works. Yes. So the actual guidelines themselves is going to be a review, and then also it may take some time after that. We're talking probably many months, if not a year or two, to then really simplify the actual process that the teachers are going through, and often connected to providers, of course, as well. But that's a very promising space after a lot of work with the department over years to get to that stage. The other piece is just around the adventure activity standard and good practice guides. That's due an update. Most time when it comes to WorkSafe and those types of authorities and the coroner's court to start to update any particular guidelines, usually around the 5-year mark, is in that 5th year of any particular guidelines that you need to start to look to review and update. So we're getting very close to being able to announce that, but that's looking very promising after working with all the states and territories on that one, as well as the federal government. Yeah, some movement on that soon as well. And Rachel will be calling for volunteers to sit on those technical working groups when we're doing an update. So we'll just keep everyone tuned into our newsletter to be able to make sure that everyone's understanding of what's going to happen when in that space. Yes. So I think we're nearly at time. So anything else from you, Rachel, or anyone else on the call around things that need clarification, discussion? Well, there we go. And Rachel, we might get you to start copying and pasting things into an email to yourself with all those links.
Thank you. I will.
Yes. There's some pretty handy things in there from Andrea. Okay. Well, what we might do is farewell everyone, but Rachel, if you want to keep getting into the mix, but thanks very much for joining us. Please pass on any things that you've gathered today to your colleagues and friends across the sector. And we look forward to seeing you in September for our next online forum. Thanks very much for your attendance today.